Scorpio.
Scorpio, Happy New Year 2016 to you, and I bet you're all excited now to see what this year is going to bring you. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to follow the cycles of Mars because that is your drive, your goal, your ambition, and you putting your best foot forward to achieve those steps for and towards success. So it's going to cycle for you between the 12th house and straight through to the 5th house. Now last year, 2015, it was all about you setting things from the 6th house and onwards. So to the upper part of your chart, you were really projecting yourself out to the world, to the public, and being in the mainstream and so forth. So here, as you're closing down on 2015, Mars is cruising through your 12th house. And this is you just recuperating, recharging your battery. If you can take a little time off, that would be great if you so can, because Mars is really wanting you to listen within to your dreams and to power up for a new 2-year cycle, which it will do when it gets into your first house, January 4th. So, January 4th, you are going to be empowering the area of your chart which has to do with you, your needs. It's your personality. You're going to come forward here supercharged, feeling really great and full of desire to chase those things that are important to you personally. And then it's going to move into your 2nd house for money and income. You'll see how you're going to be empowering this area of your chart as we get into Sagittarius. It will remain there for a while until April 18th, whereupon then it's going to retrograde back into your 1st house. So you can catch up with what you started there early on, January, February, March. And so you will be able to now conclude those things. And we always want to look at retrogrades as something that can empower us rather than take away from us. Now, we have a lot of retrogrades this year that we're going to be pointing out. And I just want to say up front that if you can embrace retrogrades as presence from above, you will come to see how it's going to empower you, because the stereotypical thing is like, oh, here we go, the retrogrades, you know, it's going to be delays and things going off the shaft. So, but the thing is, when we step down and things slow down for us, we're more apt to pay attention to details that can actually behoove us, where we can repack our inner, should I say, compass, so that when the planet goes direct again, we're that much better equipped. We are more educated. We have things together which will really set us off on our wings. So June 30th, that Mars will then pick up some speed, come back out of your 1st house, back into your 2nd house. So you see you have a second chance again. Now when Mars is direct, looking at your finances. Where is the money coming from? Is it flowing? Is it enough? You might even come to feel that new goals may be calling upon you. Why? Because, well, it is in the sign of Sagittarius, and Sag always keeps its eye on that far horizon where you're wanting to achieve new dreams. So some of you might think that this would be a good time to change things up, and for those of you ready for it, we'll come to see that. Is there a good opportunity? You might just go for it. Then we're coming into late summer here. Now, Mars will be going through your 3rd house, which is you being more out and about, traveling a little bit. So you will come to see here that whatever you do and wherever you go here, this will be a place of you feeling more empowered. Your communication is excellent here summertime. So if you're needing to write an essay or a book, or it could also be you giving a talk or a speech, well, Mars is going to support you and make sure that you're quite successful. There's also the neighborhood or the closer community here that Mars is going to want you to look at summertime. And this will actually behoove you to do maybe either some volunteer work, perhaps, or it might just be more catching up with siblings if they live out of town. This would be a great time for you to do so. Coming in towards the end of the year there, November and into December, Mars will be going through your fourth house, and that has to do with home and family. And you're going to see here that you're going to be focusing more on their needs. This is the area of who you are on the inside. It's your past, it's your foundation. It's also where you live and how you live, real estate and so forth. So there might be things in the home that you would like to focus a little bit more time on. Maybe some repairs. Mars is active here, so it's not really going to cost a lot of energy. It's more like free energy to focus here. And of course, also it rules parents. So maybe your parents, one way or another, may be playing more so into the picture towards the end of the year. Now, coming into December and preparing for 2017, Mars is ending up in your fifth house. This is the area for love and romance. Some of you, especially those of you single, might just come across a new relationship that will tickle your heart pink. And for those of you in an already existing relationship, well, you'll come to see that it's going to be a playful time between the two of you, where you can interact, spend more time together, have perhaps more date nights. And it is the area of self-expression, creativity. You might just feel that there's so much more that you would like to do now that maybe earlier in the year there wasn't too much time set aside to do your hobbies. So pay attention to those hobbies calling your name. So children is also a fifth house area. So you can come to see perhaps that your children will be needing a little bit more focus or support. I see you being really happy here, Scorpio, to give exactly that to them. And it's dream time since Neptune is there. Now, maybe something really exciting can take place here in December of 2016 as Mars touches upon Neptune. And Neptune is always our dreams, it's our visions. So Mars might just power up that. And this could be something you and your partner can do together. It could be you together with your children and fulfilling some of those dreams. And of course, it is holiday times. So perfect time for that. Now we're going to look at what Jupiter is going to bestow upon you. It's a big team player here in 2016 because it's transiting in your areas of hopes and dreams. And so for you here, Scorpio, it's all about what is it you want. You're going to be hearing yourself, asking yourself these questions as the year progresses. And it's time for you to really reach for it. Jupiter passes through this area once every 12 years. So now is the time to actually envision what it is you want. Get that vision board out. Change it up to how you want it to look ideally for this coming year. It's more like having a bouquet of flowers, right? We want to keep them fresh. So our dreams may always be on that horizon, but sometimes some of them might just wilter in between. So we want to weed those out and keep the bouquet fresh. So revisit now when Jupiter retrogrades, which will be from January 8th to May 10th. Time to go in and pick out, weed out those wilted ones, add in the beautiful new visions that you do want, because Jupiter will still stay with you here into that of August. So after May 10th, Jupiter will be picking up speed. You will come to see that your dreams may be coming true, maybe even in a better way than you had ever even come to imagine. And so I love it, because some of you are really looking at true, genuine values, having it through Virgo. Well, Virgo analyzes and it strategizes and it organizes our life. So for you, I think it's more about really wanting to have a life now that feels structured in a way that can flow, bring so much more, should I say, joy into your daily life. Because on the opposite end, Jupiter has Neptune there. The two of them are going to be working together, and they're both going to be whispering to you, I want more time off, right? I see that as a dream for many of you Scorpios. More time off for what? For love, for romance, to go do those things that the fifth house does so well, which is to be creative, to bring out those talents, abilities, and skills that you have, which is not necessarily career-oriented, but personally oriented. So if you can embed that in there, I can promise you that this is going to be a great year. Now, we also have 4 Mercuries that are going to go retrograde here on us this year. The first one being January 5th through the 25th, starting off 1 degree here in your 4th house. So it will have you looking at family matters here very quickly for a couple of days, and then it's going to move back into your 3rd house for communication. So for 3 weeks or more, you're going to be looking at what it is you communicate, how you're communicating and interacting with those close to you in your community. So this could be you having more of a need to come out to make sure that you're being heard and heard in the correct way. It's time for you also to pick up those things that fell along the roadside here when Mercury was direct. So we can always find something that we can retweak or re-embed, and this is what retrogrades are good for. We want to love them. And of course, most people, they go, here we go again, a new retrograde. That's stereotypical of that everything now is going to go haywire. And for sure, sometimes it does. But for the most part, the higher intention of any retrograde is allowing you more time in a specific area to really look at those gems that we can implement into our lives, opportunities that passed by so quick we never even had time to check them out. So for that, this is what you want to focus on so that you can empower yourself. Then next, the retrograde of Mercury is April 29th through the 23rd. 3 degrees, it starts off there in Taurus, which is your committed area of your chart, your long-term commitments, your marriage, or anybody that you work with closely one-on-one. It's going to stay there for a little bit. It is 23 degrees, and so it gives you ample time to work and rebalance your energies with your partner, making sure that each other are hearing each other, right? So sometimes we just take messages and we go, and move on and really don't give it too much more energy to ground them. So for this is the beauty of this retrograde, is that you and your partner will be able to actually sit down, work through whatever issues that may have come up throughout the year, and find your perfect, should I say, midpoint where you balance up. 3rd retrograde of Mercury will be August 31st through September 22nd, 29 degrees in Virgo. So listen, that is where Jupiter just have been, okay? So Jupiter has been empowering this area for a whole year. As Mercury comes in, well, she's going to try to sniff out to see if Jupiter has left any crumbs here in this area of your hopes and dreams. So here you can find extended extra blessings if you're looking, if you are aware, and those may be found here from your network or your group of friends. You might just also find an extra piece of the puzzle to actually be able to achieve your dream from this retrograde. So it's a great time for you to internalize a little bit and think, what is it that I truly do want and dream about? This is what this Mercury is going to give you. The last one is December 19th through January 8th of 2016. And listen up here, Scorpio. It will be 15 degrees in your 3rd house. So it's about communication. What and how you communicate. Who are you communicating with? What point are you trying to get across? Now, this is great if you are needing some extra time to dive into, say, any written projects, essays, that kind of thing, or look over important paperwork that needs to be done. It's coming at an ample time there for many of you to look into your taxes, so that is paperwork. We do have Pluto in this area, so that's also going to help support you to powerfully look at those things that are important. So listen, I'm really excited to see what the Tarot is going to bring you for your 2016 forecast. It's going to be coming up here relatively soon, so make sure to subscribe to receive it. And also what I'd like to say, for you to see where Jupiter can bless you in other areas in your chart other than just the 11th house, you will hear that by listening to your moon sign or your rising sign and see which area Jupiter is going to affect you there. Jupiter is our blessing, so you have the opportunity to listen to 3 different Jupiter placements. So listen, Scorpio, happy 2016. Go make it work. Have a fabulous and great new year.